What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video for Friday, April 19th, 2024. We are back with another video. If you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. Yesterday's video did awesome. A lot more new subs came in, which was completely awesome. And I look at all the comments, the likes. It is very much appreciated. It helps the algorithm. It helps the channel out. A little ask, if you don't want to go to our website and sign up for FTA Plus, if you clicked on the ads, I would be okay with that as well. That helps the channel out even more. But just sharing the video, liking the video, and leaving a comment helps us out so much. So I do want to thank every single one of you who goes above and beyond and does that pretty much every day. But what we do is a little bit different than other DFS channels. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at all the games on the slate. We're going to look at the pitching. We're going to look at the bats. Today's slate, we have this first game that's not on anything. It's a single game that you can't, I guess you could play an all-day slate on Fanduel, but there's 4 hours in between that and the next set of games, so I usually don't do that. But I want to bring you everything we've got. So we have 2 giveaways every single video. Super easy and super simple, and you yourself right now could win both of them if you're lucky enough. Now, how do you do it? First off, like the video, be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, and leave a comment. That's simple and easy. Comment, negative, positive, positivity would be better, but you can do either. And if this video gets at least 50 likes and you've left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus brought to you by the YouTube Random Comment Picker. Now, that includes a week of MLB, NASCAR, PGA, NBA still around a little bit, and then obviously NFL and maybe MMA if there's enough interest in MMA. We'll see. We might bring it back. We might not. I got to know if there's enough interest. So that is if we get 50 likes, you'll get a free week. If we get 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month, which is a $29.99 value. If the video gets 150 likes, you have a chance to win a $200 yearly pass value. And if any video ever gets 200 or more likes, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. Second way to win, like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me who is going to hit a home run and what inning are they going to hit it in. You get both of those correct. Take a screenshot of your username and your comment on this video, and then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1, @gmail.com, with that screenshot and a username and email you would like on the website, and we will get you set up for a free week. So we are going to give away right now a free week from yesterday's video. So let's see who the winner is, and this person can come back the next day, the next day, and the next day. You can keep coming back. It's been awesome. You can win every single day. So the winner is Chris Lacey, 1490. Great stuff on a terrible slate. I will admit, yesterday's Thursday slate was kind of iffy. A lot of the players I wanted to look at, they sat for whatever reason on a Thursday. We put a lineup out there, still cashed, but not enough. It's still min cash, but we were still there. So congratulations, Chris. Now, if you see this, like this, and then email me, and we'll get you set up for your free week. And if you already have an email or account on the site, let me know the username, and I will set you up with that user for the free week. So, again, Chris can come back today, or the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, continuously win weeks. If we get up to months, if we get up to years, we've had multiple people win years, last year especially. So, that is the ways to win from FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. In the description of this video is this article right here. So we're going to cover everything, but in this article, it's got, I can't remember how many pitchers we like, but the pitchers that we like, and it also has a few batters at each position that we like. Not all of them, but some of them, which then concludes with, we have projection simulations and everything down here you can go check out on the website. Now, I will tell you, in the background while we make this video, we run simulations. So we run 20,000 simulations a day. And at the end of this video, we're going to give you the top 20 bats through 10,000 simulations, and then some of our favorite prop bets for this slate. That's a new thing we added to the channel. People liked it. In the description of this video is the link to Discord as well. We go over plays, we go over core plays, we go over some bets that we like. People throw bets around to each other. They ask you like this, this, and this, and we go back and forth that way. So that is on the Discord you can check out as well. So, like I said, 15 games. We've got this one game that we're not going to cover because it's a single game. Then we got a 4-game early slate, and then we got a 10-game main slate that we're going to cover. So hopefully you guys are in for a treat. Hopefully you come back the next day and the next day. The weekends are our favorite days. You guys helping us out, growing the channel immensely. I think this time last year we were at like 6,000 YouTube subscribers. So it's really gone up. And I look forward to making these videos for you every single day. I'm not going to be right every single time. Like yesterday, I really liked Jack Leiter because he had a matchup there, and then the game was just bonkers. I think they put up 16 runs combined. I will admit, I'm not going to be right every single day, I promise. But I give you my insight as much as I can. We've been doing this for over 10 years now. I've been into baseball my entire life, so trying to help you guys out. And if we do at all, if you hit it big and you want to tip, I've had people ask to tip. My suggestion would be not YouTube super chats because YouTube takes about 50% of that. If you want to tip, the Cash App, I believe, is still below, or I've got PayPal and Venmo. If you would like, you can email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and send me a tip that way. That is very much appreciated as well. Or signing up on the website on top of that helps out as well. So we look at the first game. Now, we are missing a couple of the pitchers. We'll kind of go around that. We'll see. Again, it just depends. Sometimes they are announced on DraftKings before they're announced here on Baseball Savant. But first game on the early slate, we got the Angels at the Reds. You got Tyler Anderson versus to be announced. So if we look at this, they think it's going to be Nick Lodolo. Now, Nick Lodolo last pitched on the 13th. So in actuality, it would make sense for this to be his spot. Yeah, I mean, he still has, it could be him. It also might change. Again, taking this against this Angels team that are hitting some home runs and get some good hits. I don't normally like taking pitchers in Great American Small Park. The ball flies out of there. It's one of the best home run hitting ballparks there. As long as the weather's good, I could see that. You got Tyler Anderson, 39 plate appearances, 33.3 K percentage, a 114 batting average. So on the surface, those numbers look good, but this is the difference between us and other DFS providers. They give you like 5 plays and that's your core plays and that's it. We give you everything. Now, we're going to go under the surface. So on the surface, that's a good spot. We look at Tyler Anderson, basically looking at 39 plate appearances, giving up 1 home run, which was to Ellie De La Cruz, who's a switch hitter. I still, for tournaments, I don't mind Tyler Anderson, okay? So then you dig in a little bit further. He's 6,600. You've got to get creative on a small slate like this. Game log-wise, not coming off a good start against Boston, coming off a fantastic start against Tampa Bay, and a fantastic start of the season against Miami. 26.2 there, 22.8 there. Comes in with a 147 ERA, 2-1 record, 12 Ks. The Reds, they do hit. They've been hitting well. For tournaments, I'm okay with Tyler Anderson. If you're not going with Tyler Anderson, I'm completely okay with going with some of the Reds bats. Ellie De La Cruz. I would look at Spencer Steer. You want to look at, and this on Baseball Savant, but what you want to do is you want to look at the players that have the dark red, the most amount of red. Those are the ones that have been hitting well. Christian Encarnacion Strand would be a good one. Tyler Stevenson against the lefty. We always usually like to take him. You've got Will Benson. I don't mind taking him either. Spencer Steer, Nick Martini. Like, there's a ton of dark red that these batters have been on fire right now. Now, in about a couple of weeks, we will update the we'll go ahead and we'll update the batter splits to have the first month of all of their stats in updated, and then you can see who hits lefties well, who hits righties well, stuff like that. So splits are good, BVP's good, a lot of things are good there. Those would be the ones I would use if we're not going with Tyler Anderson. But on a small slate like this, you're gonna have to kind of look at that. You've got Lodolo. Just to look over Brian Bayo against Pittsburgh, I definitely would take. I would look at him. We look at Bayo here. Might try something a little bit different with this early slate. See if you guys like it this way instead of going back and forth. Bayo has had one good start against the Angels, an okay start against Baltimore, and then a couple of blah starts against Oakland and Seattle. We actually took him against the Angels his last start, which was on Sunday. 5.1 innings. The problem is he's only right around 5 innings. That's what I'm scared of. Pittsburgh was hitting well, but overall, just kind of looking at what he's done, he has not faced them before. 5 plate appearances, so basically one batter that he's looked at. I would still look at Bayo there. On the Pittsburgh side, they think it's going to be Quinn Priester, who they think he's going to be called up to start Friday against the Red Sox. Obviously, he has not pitched this year after getting called up. Last year, 7.74 ERA, 36 Ks to 27 walks. So he was all over the place. That, in my mind, I would say we are looking at Red Sox bats here. They have struggled. Their best hitter, Tyler O'Neill, is now on the IL. I would still be looking at Devers. You could be looking at, depending on who's even in this lineup. Again, we've got to kind of wait for lineups to be posted. Wilyer Abreu, would like him. Would love him if he was at the top, though. So make sure where he's at. Jarren Duran, Tristan Casas, Devers, Wilyer Abreu. These guys make sense. A cheap option would be David Hamilton at shortstop, taking over for Trevor Story, who got hurt. And that's basically the players that I would... Emmanuel Valdez, maybe a little bit too. Those are just some of the players. None really, no other ones jump out to me. So that's kind of what I would look at in that situation. This one, it depends. We've got Garrett Crochet versus Spencer Turnbull. So we look at Crochet here. Brings a lot of velocity. Had 2 really good starts. He's kind of sputtered his last 2 starts. Hasn't gone deep into games there. 4.2 innings his last start against Cincy. Gave up 5 earned runs in that game. Had 10 strikeouts, but gave up 5 earned runs. Against the Kansas City Royals, 2 earned runs there with 5 Ks. And then the first 2 starts, he had 8 strikeouts apiece, and people were all over him. He's kind of maybe come down a little bit. Now he's going up to face the Phillies. If he can't, I mean, the walks have been there, the strikeouts have been there, but he has given up some earned runs. Tournaments, I'm okay with Garrett Crochet. But if I'm taking in cash, I'm looking at Philly bats. I'm looking at Castellanos, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Schwarber. I'm looking at these guys. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Garrett, probably a little bit more exposure to Philadelphia over him. That's in an early slate like this with this many games and these pitchers, it just depends. The flip side of that is Spencer Turnbull against the White Sox. For the most part this season, 99.9% of the time, we've taken a pitcher against this terrible White Sox team. I think, and I don't know if the numbers were exaggerated, but Wednesday they had a doubleheader. They had 2 games against Kansas City, and the number of fans that showed up. Now I understand it was the middle of the week. It was a work week. There was like 98 people in the crowd. I don't know if that was an exaggeration, but when you looked, it was completely empty, which is wild. But yeah, they're a bad team. They're playing terrible. People are hurt. I am taking Spencer Turnbull. I think he's going to be one of the most popular picks on this slate. Coming off not so good of a game against Pittsburgh, 4.2 fantasy points in that game, but prior to that, had 2 starts that were great against Cincinnati and St. Louis. Comes in with a 1.8 ERA, 1-0 record, 16 Ks in 3 starts. That is where I would go with that one. Then we get to the final game on this so we've got weather concern here in Washington, but Justin Verlander is making his season debut off the IL. Did okay in his rehab. 4 innings, 77 pitches. Did allow 5 earned runs, so that is the problem. They're saying he's probably going to be on a pitch count, but he gets a great matchup against Washington. Now, he's either going to absolutely dominate or he's going to get rocked. I don't think there's any in-between in this game. I think if he's not 100% healthy, but they're still, for whatever reason, calling him up to pitch after a terrible last start in the minors, could be one of 2 things. We're either going to get vintage Verlander or we're going to see Washington be a sneaky stack, which on this slate, I could see both. So what I'm going to do is 4 games, maybe I make 10 lineups. Let's say I make 10 lineups. I'll have Verlander in one of them, but I am looking at Washington as a stack here. So just depending on what you think might happen or the bats that we'd look at, I kind of would like CJ Abrams. I don't mind him. Joey Gallo, I think, is a sneaky option, being a cheaper option. Jesse Winker, got a lot of red there. Eddie Rosario, kind of blue. Not so much good BVP against him. The players that I would use, I think I would look at CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia. I would look at Joey Gallo, Lane Thomas, Jesse Winker. Maybe a little bit of Riley Adams as well. It just depends on the lineup that comes out. But I'm not sold on Verlander yet. Now, he could come out and have a fantastic game because it is Washington. But I don't think he's 100% healthy. His price is second highest on this slate. So, in theory, just looking at these, I wouldn't use Priester. I would use Bayo. I'd look a little bit at Tyler Anderson. I love Spencer Turnbull. Probably against Crochet, Mackenzie Gore for tournaments because everyone will be on the Astros. I could see that working out. I could also see him get lit up. So I'll have a little bit of Gore, but I think I'll have 1 or 2 lineups with him. Same thing with Verlander. And Nick Lodolo, taking a pitcher in this ballpark scares me a little bit. But again, 4-game slate, you're going to have to find some pitching in this one. So that's the early slate. We will jump into the main slate now. Tampa Bay Rays at New York Yankees. As of this video, it does not have a pitcher for Tampa Bay versus Clark Schmidt. 46 plate appearances, 302 batting average, only 17.4 K percentage. Back home at Yankee Stadium after a little slide on the road, but a huge comeback win on Wednesday. The Yankees are now back home. According to DraftKings, they think it's going to be Tyler Alexander. Now, lefty coming in, 6.46 ERA, 1-0 record though, 12 Ks in that. Hasn't gone, 6 innings against San Francisco, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. At Colorado, which it's Colorado, I'll take that away from him, 3.8, and then Toronto, 5 earned runs in 5 innings there. So if it is in fact Tyler Alexander, I would be looking at the Yankees bats here. I would be looking at Volpe, who's leading off. Not so much a good road trip, but back home, front of the crowd, maybe he gets back to what he does. Juan Soto, righty-lefty, does not matter. He's absolutely on fire. I'd be looking at him. Aaron Judge, kind of slow, batting 190 right now. At home against a soft-throwing lefty here at 6.46 ERA. Got to get me some Judgy in there. Oswaldo Cabrera, lefty-righty matchup, does not matter. I would look at him. A one that we've been against, but he's actually come along recently, has been Jose Trevino. So, comes in at 2,800 if you're looking for a cheaper stack for the Yankees. You can see, last 4 games, he's put up some numbers here. Does have a home run. He's cheaper now here against a lefty in Tampa Bay, or at home against them. For whatever reason, slow. Come on lately, and he's 2,800. He allows you to do a Yankee stack that you could still pay up for a pitcher. So just for instance, I'm not going to do this for every game, but if we wanted to go Stanton's been hitting well. Let's say we do that. That's 4. You want to do 5. We got Soto there. That's that. Then you go pitching. Depending on what you got, you'd obviously have to come down a little bit. Depending on the pitcher, you could maybe look like an Alec Marsh. You could look at maybe a Joe Ryan, and then 3,300 the rest of the way to build a lineup. You could do that. That would be an example of a stack that you could look at. Not going to do that for every game because if I did that, this video would be 3 hours long. But that is an option. So then you go, let's say you go 3 players from a different stack of a different game. Then you've got your lineup there. So one way to do about it, if you've got questions, that's how we kind of build around. Clark Schmidt, I don't know what to think of him. So he comes in. It's going to be 7,900 here. Game log wise, coming off a fantastic start against Cleveland, went 5 innings there, got the dub, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, but 5 walks. The walks have been up there, 8 walks in 3 starts. Houston, okay there, 3 earned runs, but 5 Ks, 5.1 innings. You're looking probably right around 5 innings out of him. If we could see more, that would be awesome. Not the best track record against Tampa Bay. You could be looking at some Tampa Bay bats like Paredes. You could look at Yandy Diaz is one. Harold Ramirez is another one. These are Rortvet against his old team. You could look at these numbers. Rortvet here, 3,100, which is wild because he's still cheaper than Trevino. Those would be ones that I'd look at. A little bit of exposure to Clark Schmidt, but I love a Yankee stack here, especially if it is against Alexander. Next game, Athletics at the Guardians. You got Joe Boyle versus Tristan McKenzie. McKenzie has struggled this season. It is not a surprise, or it shouldn't come as a surprise, but it's Oakland, but Oakland's been putting up some numbers. So that's my problem. I'm probably off of Tristan McKenzie. I don't think I want anything to do with him because he comes in here and just looking at, like, it's been wild. So stud a couple of years ago, hurt, came back late last year, put up -5 against the Yankees, 16.6 against the White Sox, but the White Sox are terrible, and then -0.1 against Seattle. 6.23 ERA. I would definitely, it's wild to say, but I would be looking at Oakland bats as some that you might want to look at. So, Esteury Ruiz is back after the whole situation with them. Game log-wise, home run here, stolen base. 14 points here, home run in that game, and then stolen base in another one. So he's stealing bases, he's hitting home runs, he's doing it all. So that being said, like an Oakland stack, I don't mind Ruiz. I don't mind a Butler who's been hitting the ball well, Langoliers for a catcher, or Zach Geloff a little bit. Like, these are ones that I would look at. Maybe throw in a little bit of Seth Brown or Abraham Toro. Kind of cold on both of those. But again, if you want to go against Cleveland and you want to go with an Oakland stack, I'm completely okay with that. And I wouldn't take Joe Boyle. I would take the Naylor brothers, Bo, Josh. I would look at Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, Andres Jimenez. These are the ones that I would look at for Cleveland. I don't want either of these pitchers. There's just so many other pitchers that we can go off of in this slate. I'm okay avoiding those two. Rangers at the Braves, battle of the lefties. You've got Andrew Heaney versus Chris Sale. Heaney, 37 plate appearances, 344 against the Braves. Chris Sale, 26 plate appearances, 208. I don't want Heaney. I will look at Chris Sale. Now, Acuna finally had his first home run of the season. Maybe it's out of his mind now and he's good to go. But Matt Olson, lefty-on-lefty matchup, 5 for 15. Jared Kelenic, lefty-on-lefty, 3 for 9 with 2 doubles. You got Travis d'Arnaud, 2 for 4. Love to take d'Arnaud against lefties. Love to take Adam Duvall against lefties or Austin Riley against lefties. I am stacking. I won't have any exposure at all to Heaney. I'll have exposure to Chris Sale, and I will have exposure to the Braves bats. Some form of different stacks of Acuna, Olson, Riley, Arcia, Adam Duvall, Marcell Ozuna. Like, there's so many bats, so many righty bats for the Braves that smash lefties. You're not going to be able to fit them all in a one stack. So different combination of stacks. If you use an optimizer, if you use anything, we have in the link below or in the description is a link to DFS Hero, which is an optimizer. It is a company that we have partnered with right now, and you can check them out. Sign up. If you sign up and use a month of their service, we're going to give you a month of FTA Plus. If you do a year of their service, we're going to give you a year, as long as it's your first sign up and deposit. You can use them to build an Atlanta stack or multiple different Atlanta stacks. But yeah, I love Chris Sale. I love the Braves in this one. Some form of that. If you want to go against Chris Sale and you are looking at Texas bats, Simeon, Langford, you could look at. Corey Seager, lefty on lefty, doesn't matter. But I will have some Chris Sale in this. I just know I will not have any Andrew Heaney. Orioles at the Royals. This is a pitcher's park. We've talked about this before. Dean Kramer, 34 plate appearances, 152 against them. Then Alec Marsh, 22 plate appearances, .095. Honestly, at the beginning of the season, I think it would have been flip-flopped. I think I would have said I would take Dean Kramer over Alec Marsh, but I do like a little bit Alec Marsh here. 7,000. middle of the tier there. Hasn't really done much past 2 games. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with. But he did face the Royals his first start of the year. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. That was at Baltimore, which is more of a hitter park. Now he's back home. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with. You are not trusting Alec Marsh and cash, but 7,000, you're able to build around. You're getting those middle-tier pitchers who are in plus matchups to build around him. So we look at that, and I don't mind Alec Marsh. I think everyone will be on the Baltimore bats because it's Baltimore. But we look at Dean Kramer. Did he start against them? Yeah, his first start came against these Royals. 5.1 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 85 pitches, kind of what he's going around. Milwaukee, he just got lit up by Milwaukee. Pittsburgh, he did well against Pittsburgh. Royals bats that I would use, Bobby Witt Jr. at the top, hitting home runs, stealing bases. Sal Perez, Nelson Velasquez, Vinny Pasquantino, maybe a little bit of MJ Melendez I could see. Michael Garcia is another one that I would look at. These are some of the bats that I would use. I'm probably off of Dean Kramer. Tournaments, you could throw him in, but a 5 ERA almost. Already been lit up by them before. Now it's a pitcher's park. I could still see the Royals hitting him well. I want a little bit of Alec Marsh. Again, tournaments only, not cash, and I'm off of Dean Kramer there. Tigers versus the Twins. Jack Flaherty versus Joe Ryan. Flaherty, 49 plate appearances, 227 batting average, but has been striking out 28.6% of those Twins batters that he's faced. Joe Ryan on the flip side, 71 plate appearances, 38 K percentage, a 242 batting average. I think both of these pitchers are okay. I think Flaherty's more of your tournament. I think Joe Ryan is more of your cash, but we will look. So Jack Flaherty, 7,700, faced Minnesota his last start. 6.1 innings, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 18.9 fantasy points. For whatever reason, they have now dropped his price 700, which would make it even better for his fantasy point outage here. Flaherty, like I said, I don't mind him one bit. Just had success against them. Had a lot of success against the White Sox. Then, for whatever reason, the Oakland Athletics the Astros have a worse record than the Athletics. Let me see. I gotta make sure that's still valid. I saw that 2 nights ago, or not last night. Yeah, Houston's 6-14 and Oakland's 8-11. It's wild. Wild times. But anyway, Jack Flaherty, I don't mind him. Just face them, and I that's great. Those are good numbers. I don't know if I trust him in cash, but I'd rather look at Joe Ryan a little bit. But Joe Ryan on the flip side just dominated. 6 innings against them, 1 earned run, 12 strikeouts. I think people are going to see that and beyond that. But again, Joe Ryan's in a fantastic matchup here, pitching at home, while other people will be up here. You could go down to Joe Ryan and save some money at 8,900. Bats-wise, none really jump out to me. I think both pitchers are fantastic options here. Then we go to the Brewers at the Cardinals. We got Freddie Peralta versus Kyle Gibson. I love Freddie Peralta here. 117 plate appearances, 277 batting average, 22.2 K percentage. Cardinals, Kyle Gibson, 46 plate appearances, 250 batting average. So we dig in, we look at this. Peralta is second highest priced pitcher, coming off a fantastic start against Baltimore. Middle of the tier start against Seattle, but a fantastic start to the season against the Mets as well. 2.55 ERA, 2-0 record, 26 strikeouts, coming off 11 strikeouts. I mean, you're basically looking at 7+ strikeouts out of him against the St. Louis team. They have been hitting recently, but I'd still take Peralta over them. And then we come down here and we find Kyle Gibson. 7,300, game log wise, 6 ERA, which I think is pretty much expected. Lit up by Arizona, 6 innings, is going deep into games, but giving up runs. 4 earned runs against them, 7 earned runs against Miami, 2 earned runs against San Diego. San Diego was his best start, 20.2. It has gone down from there. I think Milwaukee makes a fantastic option there. The problem, the bats for Milwaukee. So we'll look at them. So Yelich is on the IL. If you are taking bats, William Contreras has been hitting one of the best catchers in the game, if not the best right now. We look at him. Oliver Dunn, Blake Perkins, Rhys Hoskins, Willie Adames, they are all fantastic options. You want to skew a little bit. Jake Bauers, if he's in there, a cheap option. Bryce Terang is in there. Gary Sanchez could be in there. Jackson Chourio could be in there. I do think I want to stack against Kyle Gibson. I don't think I want anything to do with Gibson. I will look at the Brewers as one of my favorite stacks on the slate, and those are the bats that I'd look at. So I do love Peralta, and I do love Milwaukee as a stack. I'm out on Kyle Gibson. I don't want anything to do with him. Mariners at the Rockies is next. Emerson Hancock versus Dakota Hudson. I don't want a pitcher in this game with the Coors effect. I just don't. We could look at these numbers real quick. They're right next to each other. Emerson Hancock, 7.98 ERA. Comes in with an almost 8 ERA. And then you've got Hudson here. Comes in with a 4 ERA. He's pitched once at home against Tampa Bay. Give up only 3 earned runs there. But yeah, I would rather look at the bats in this game. None jump out to me right now, but maybe they will once the algorithm goes through. But bats you could look at, Seattle, Ty France, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, Julio Rodriguez, Dylan Moore, Luke Raley. I could look at these guys. Flip side of that, Colorado, they lost Chris Bryant. Surprise, surprise, he's on the IL yet again. Ryan McMahon, Michael Taglia, Tovar you could look at, Nolan Jones, Montero, maybe a little bit of Charlie Blackmon. That's probably the bats that I would look at. But yeah, I don't want either pitcher in this one. Blue Jays at the Padres, Yariel Rodriguez versus Matt Waldron. Neither has faced each other before. Again, it's very hard. I mean, Rodriguez is 5,000. He'll start. Impresses Major League Saturday. 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Problem, 3.2 innings is his last start. We don't know what his workload's going to be. That's the problem. He is only 5,000 though. We did use Suarez the other day. He was 4,000 and came through immensely at 18 fantasy points. And I saw a comment. One of you guys commented, I did read that you used him in a Dodger stack. And of course, he went off for 4,000 in a Dodger stack, crapped the bed. That's DFS. That's baseball in a nutshell. Fantastic option. Rodriguez here against San Diego, at San Diego, which is a pitcher's park. I'm okay with at 5,000. The problem, only 68. They pulled him after 68 pitches, 3.2 innings, 1 earned run. Did have 6 Ks though. 14.7 would be perfect for this, almost 5 times his value. What you're kind of looking for basically or 3 times his value. What you're looking for is about 2 to 2.5 times value. Anything more than that is going to be a lot. A lot of value. So looking at this, obviously we need him to go 5+ innings to be in line for that dub. That's what we're looking at. I am scared though. He tournament only, but at 5,000 he does allow you to pay up for almost every other pitcher on this main slate. And then Waldron on the other hand, 7,800, 3.14 ERA. Did pretty good against the Dodgers. Did very well against San Francisco. Not so well against St. Louis. We're looking at about 5 innings out of him here. So depending on what you're looking at, Toronto bats, they're either really hot or they're just ice cold. There's no in between right now. Probably off of him just because of his price. I would look at Rodriguez here just because he's 5,000. We got in the Mets at the Dodgers, Sean Manaea versus Yamamoto. Manaea, 141 plate appearances, 297 batting average, so he has been lit up by the Dodgers in the past. I'm looking at a full Dodger stack here. Dodgers at home with Yamamoto on the bump. I don't mind that at all. Mookie Betts is 10 for 29 with 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs. Stolen bases as well. Love Mookie Betts here. Probably my favorite player on the slate. That's why he's the picture of this video and the article attached. Chris Taylor would be a cheap option. It's 4 for 16 with a double and a home run. Teoscar Hernandez against lefties is what we usually take. Would not be surprised if he hits a home run. Freddie Freeman, he's got a home run against him. Max Muncy has a home run against him while he's only 1 for 6, but that one hit was a home run. So I want some Yamamoto. Okay. I don't want any Mets. I want Yamamoto and stack of the Dodgers. So some form of the batters we talked about. This might be another one. We got to wait for the lineup to come out. It is later in the day, or it's at night. I get that. But a Dodger stack with Yamamoto I'm completely okay with. Would like it if it was in New York, because I do like that ballpark better for pitching, but we'll take what we can get here. Yamamoto is the most expensive pitcher on the slate, 9,600 though. Okay against the Padres, gave up 3 earned runs. Against the Cubs, 5 innings. Problem is that we're getting 5 innings max out of him. That's the problem. And the Dodgers really haven't scored a ton of runs that he's been in, except for the South Korea series where he did give up 5 earned runs in 1 inning. They put up 11 runs, but yeah, that's the problem. But I love their matchup here. I would not be surprised if we see another 7+ runs out of them, and he does well. I will use him a little bit, but if you want a little bit salary relief, you could be looking at Peralta there. But yeah, for sure, you could look at that. Then the final game on the slate, we've got Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Giants. It's in San Francisco. Love to take a pitcher against San Francisco, or in San Francisco. The problem, Jordan Montgomery making his debut against another Boris client, Blake Snell, who has been absolutely lit up. I'm probably not, and this is what's wild. So Montgomery has not pitched this year, making his debut after sitting out. Got his pitch count up to 71. He does bounce back with no issues. Yeah. Has not pitched this year. That's my problem. They've already put him to 9,200. 9,200. He has not thrown a pitch this year. We saw what Blake Snell has done. Blake Snell didn't throw a pitch this year. They pumped him up in price. Now he's 9,300. They're right next to each other. Snell comes in with a 12 ERA, 0-2 record, 9 total strikeouts, not going deep into games. Now he's got to go face this Arizona team that hits lefties well. I want nothing to do. Now, both of these pitchers are studs when they're on. I don't want anything to do with either of them in this one. I'm going to take the bats on both sides. The bats that I would be looking at, let's just show you the heat map here so you can see the Arizona bats against lefties. Ketel Marte hit, boom. Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Christian Walker, Eugenio Suarez, I would use. Gabriel Moreno I would use, but he's got a thumb problem, and he's been scratched late in the past couple of games. Did come in to pinch hit, but I don't think he's 100%. So I'm probably off of him. But Corbin Carroll, I don't mind. Kevin Newman, if he's in there for whatever reason, I would look at. Those would be the Diamondback bats. But I would prioritize Walker, Suarez, Gurriel Jr., even Randall Grichuk if he's in there. He hits lefties well. Flip side of that, batters that have had success or are on fire right now for the Giants, Patrick Bailey, Matt Chapman against the lefty. Almost every single time you want some exposure there. Lamont Wade Jr. has been hitting well. Jung-Ho Lee has been hitting well. Conforto, but Soler is another one that hits lefties well. So both of these pitchers are very expensive for whatever reason. There's no reason, absolutely no reason right now that DraftKings should give Blake Snell a $9,300 salary tag. There's no reason. He's got almost a 13 ERA in 2 starts. There's no rhyme or reason why he's this expensive. Don't take the bait. Could he have a good game? Yes. I don't think he goes deep enough into this game. Does he have double-digit strikeout capability? Yes. I do not want anything to do with him. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I'll come back in tomorrow's video and I will say I was absolutely wrong about him, but I will have no exposure to him for this Friday slate. I will take the bats in both of these and go on my merry way. So, that being said, we are now going to look at the top 20 batters through 10,000 simulations. Again, we'll do 20,000 simulations before the lineup or the slate lock. So, paper, pen, whatever you need to do, let's get going. So, after 10,000 simulations, this is the list. Number 1, Ohtani. Number 2, Mookie Betts. I think those should flip-flop. 3 is Acuna. 4 is Zach Gelof. 5 is Jose Altuve. 6 is Bobby Witt Jr. 7 is Jorge Polanco. 8 is Matt Olson. 9 is Mitch Haniger. 10 is Wilmer Flores. 11 is Jorge Soler. 13 Bregman. 14 Mitch Garver. 15 Adley. 16 is MJ Melendez. 17 is Vinny Pasquantino. 18 is Nelson Velasquez, so 3 Kansas City bats in a row. William Contreras, 19, and Yordan Alvarez is number 20. So in the top 20, we have 2 Dodgers, which is surprising to me. 2 San Francisco, 4 Kansas City, 3 Seattle, only 1 Baltimore right now against Marsh, which I do like Marsh. So yeah, kind of crazy. I think they'll update a little bit from then till now. We will update that if you have any questions, comments, concerns. What I think I'm going to start doing is, if you like it this way, we'll keep it this at the end, and we'll do some prop bets too. So yeah, we'll definitely look at those. And then some of the prop bets, just some home run potential here. Ohtani against with the odds. Now, depending when you watch this video, the odds probably have changed by now. So put a bell notification on so you guys know. But Ohtani, number 1, plus 303 for a home run. Altuve, plus 374. Mookie Betts is plus 376. I think I want to take that immediately. Matt Olson, plus 426. Giloff, plus 468. Ronald Acuna Jr. plus 471. And Jorge Soler, plus 576. So that's what I've got. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. Email us or hit us up on Twitter. Good luck on this slate, and we'll be back tomorrow. Good luck, and as always, bring them that bacon. Peace!